Hi. Oh, wow. 2 people waiting already. Hi, guys. Thanks for waiting. So happy that there are people waiting. Welcome to another episode, the very second episode of Army Tea Time. And yes, okay, let's see if more people are going to come in. 2 people left. Okay. Anyway, so for Army Tea Time today, we are going to talk about scammers. Let's give it a couple minutes to see if anyone is going to come in. Say hi so that I know you're there or that you can hear me okay. I was prepared this time. Woke up early, didn't oversleep, have the info and stuff like that. So okay. If you guys are here, we can start talking about the scammer story. Hi. Oh, it's been a while. Okay. So, um, we can start with a personal story first while waiting for, a few more people to get here. Um, a personal scam story that it didn't happen to me, but it's sort of, I was involved somehow in the making. Um, we'll get to the hot tea in just a bit. This is a personal scam story. Okay, so in 2019, for the Speak Yourself final concerts in Seoul, I didn't manage to get tickets, and so I was like, oh, all depressed and all that. But I was gonna go to Seoul anyway, so that just I was desperate. Like I was gonna hang around outside the stadium if I didn't manage to get tickets. But as luck would have it, at a BTS event, actually a Jiguk event, Jimin Jungkook event in Singapore. I ran into a few. Hi, Kimberly. I ran into a few Korean armies, and we became friends. And then they all said that they were going to go to Seoul also around the time of the concert, and they were going to try to get tickets, like on Twitter. So I guess like third party tickets. But at the time, Big Hit made it very difficult to get tickets because, um, and the system is still the same. The tickets, well, for Korea at least, the tickets have to match your name. So in Korea, there were tickets, and then there was something called companion tickets. So one person can buy up to two, and the main ticket holder is you, and then there's another ticket holder. That's your companion. So these Korean girls, they were looking for tickets, on Twitter, and there was this girl, a Korean girl, who was scamming people and accepting, like, I think it was like $300 to $500 per ticket. And then so my friend um, found out. Actually, my friend got scammed. And then she realized she got scammed and she went to confront this person. And I don't know how she did it, but she confronted this person in a way that really made the person feel so damn guilty that one, they refunded the money, two, they apologized, and then my friend like further convinced her to return everyone's money, all the money that she had scammed. She had scammed like over like 5 people, and that was like more than $1,000. So yeah, and my friend was like, okay, if you're being a good person, because the person was a teenager apparently, and so the person's like, my friend was like, okay, be a person that your parents are going to be proud of, that your friends are going to be proud of. It was sort of this like guilt trip, but for a good cause, guilt tripping the person. So the person returned all the money, and then I guess undid the scammer reputation. And yeah, that was And the reason I said it had to do something to do with me was because she was, without me knowing, this friend of mine was trying to help me get tickets for Speak Yourself. She knew I badly wanted to go, and I didn't ask her to, but she was trying to get tickets. So, yeah, in the process of getting tickets for herself, for me, for a few others, she got scammed. But she managed to make the scammer repent and return all the money. So that was, I think, that's a freaking miracle because honestly, how many times does that happen? How many times do you actually get your money back from a scammer? So that's that story. But oh really? Yeah, I think there were a lot of scammers for PTD. I saw online like quite a few people were talking about it. Like, what do you know about it? I didn't try to buy tickets at all for PTD, so I wasn't aware. Like I generally, as a rule, I don't buy tickets from someone, and that's why like when I don't get tickets, my plan B is just to hang around outside the stadium and not to buy tickets from a third party. So when I got a ticket for Speak Yourself in Seoul, it was because this angel friend, managed to get one for me, like a legit companion ticket, and that's how I got to go. But if she hadn't done that, like I wouldn't have gone at all. And for PTD, I wasn't even planning on going because I was like, there's no way I can fly from Singapore to the US to attend a concert, and so I didn't even buy tickets. But my friend, one of my Instagram followers, offered me a ticket for free, and that's how I got to go. So I'm constantly lucky for whatever reason. Like I think I saved a country in my previous life to be this lucky in getting BTS tickets. Like people keep helping me for some reason, and I keep lucking out on BTS tickets. But yeah, Kimberly, do tell me about those scammers for PTD. What did you see? What did you guys did anyone else experience scammers before? Just like put it down in the comments so that we can talk about it. So happy you bought tickets. I went on day 3. It's the only ticket I had. I went on day 3, but I got ground, so I was very happy with that. Okay, so while you're typing about that, let's talk about another scammer story. This scammer story happened locally. Ooh, Arctic shirts. I had a code also because I got ground seats tickets for Rose Bowl, like for 2 days for Rose Bowl, and I had army membership. So like when everybody got sent emails like you have a code, like you have like priority ticket sales or whatever. But I was completely free for ticket sales, but I just didn't because I was like, I'm in a whole other country and I can't go to a concert. But anyway, it worked out in the end. Actually, SoFi Stadium was like pretty small, so I think any seat is a good seat in the stadium. Like, yeah, because it was a pretty small location. Okay, so let's talk about. You guys can keep typing your scammer experiences, or if you've seen scammers, and if I see your comments, I'm gonna respond to them. But let's carry on with talking about. Ooh, Cali! Wow, VIP map of the soul. Yeah, I didn't have that because it was so expensive for me. I wanted to go for more than one day, so so I just I just bought like 2 regular tickets instead, but they were ground, so they were pretty good. Never bought a resale ticket. Good. Don't buy resale tickets. Like, you're only encouraging scammers. Don't buy resale tickets. For my ticket, for Speak Yourself, the one that my friend got for me, the companion ticket, the girl that I went with, because it's a companion ticket, right? You have to go with the main ticket holder. The main ticket holder was this, I think, 20-year-old girl, and she said her friend couldn't make it, so she had to resell the ticket, and she only resold it for $10 more than the original price because she said it's a 소고비. 소고비 is like a fee for your effort. So I was like, reasonable. I'd have given you like $50 more for your effort for selling me this ticket. So I was like, okay, great. So a person like this is not a scammer. A person like this legitimately wants to get rid of their ticket and give someone else a chance to go. Like, if they charge you $10 more, no big deal at all. So yeah, I think if you're looking for resale, maybe that kind of person, but also too cheap is kind of suspicious. But anyway, I went with her, so she was legit. Like, my friend, after being scammed, was like more careful, like super, super careful. You got scammed by a GOM. Okay. Okay, for those of you who are not aware, GOMs are like online, like group order managers for things being sold online, like on Twitter. Usually they're on Twitter. And a group order manager organizes like things to be shipped in bulk to that specific area or to that specific country to help you guys save on shipping fees. Although, to be honest, in the end, you aren't really saving. Let me tell you, don't be scammed for that. You can actually you aren't really saving on the shipping fee, but because some people who sell merch, they don't allow individual purchases. Like, it's only a group purchase so that they can bulk send to that country. So sometimes group order managers are necessary, but there are a lot of group order managers who are scammers. So they take a bunch of money from like dozens of people at one time, and then they disappear. And that is a great segue to the story that I'm going to tell you now about this local scammer here in Singapore that scammed a bunch of armies for over $1,000. I think $1,500 or something like that. And because she's only 17, so she made the news locally. And let's read this news. Okay. Yeah. It was in the newspaper, it was in the online news, it was on the local news channel that's specific for Asia, which is really, really like sad. Resellers, they take advantage of fans. Yeah. A lot of resellers are not actually fans. They are just scammers. A lot of resellers, they do that as like a job. Like in Korea, there are resell organizations where these people, they sign up for all the memberships of all the idol groups, and they have super fast connections. So when they sign up for memberships for groups and tickets go out, they're like the first to get them. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you guys, if you're reading in the comments, that's like there's a lot of horror stories right now there too. People who get tricked by GO managers. GOMs are GO managers. Okay, so let's take a look at this headline right now. Teenager arrested. Commerce scam involving BTS merchandise. So, and lifestyle products. And it specifically says here, group order manager. I don't know if you can see it. Like, it says so here. Oh my gosh, please. There we go. Read it, like right here. Group order manager. The seller in question claimed to be a group order manager who offered to I can't read it because it's reversed. Conduct bulk purchases of items such as BTS merchandise. So, this kid scammed a whole bunch of people. And this happened in 2019, so it was pretty damn recent. Okay, so the people locally who got scammed made police reports, and because police started noticing like how many police reports were being made, so they collated all the group reports together. And also, oh my god, she scammed people out of $2,400. And I love this part. The woman is due to be charged in court on Wednesday. The woman, they didn't say she's 17, she's a child, she didn't know what she was doing. Straight up, this article says the woman is going to be charged on Wednesday. So, like, great. 17 is old enough to know what she was fucking doing. She didn't accidentally take people's money. She set out to scam people of their money, and so why should we look at you differently just because you're a teenager? Scammers, start them young, punish them young, and so that they'll never do it again. So yeah. I in 2019 I did follow up with this story, and because she's 17, she cannot be jailed, unfortunately. So I wish this was like less bright. So she cannot be jailed, but she was given a very heavy fine, and I think was sent to like a juvenile detention center. It's jail for kids. But yeah. Good job, Singapore police. Amazing. Singapore justice system. Great. Yeah. Good. I mean, they're not great for a lot of reasons, but for this case, awesome. I have not heard of this brand, Sun Pai brand. I don't really buy fan-made merch, hardly. I do buy some from. If I do buy some, well, this is gonna sound so. If I do buy fan-made merch, I tend to buy them from Korean sellers only because they seem very trustworthy. Yeah, and because I have a Korean address to send it to, so I don't do group orders ever. Just send it to my Korean address, like individual. So I order from Korean sellers, and they look legit because they've got hundreds of people commenting, and I don't do it if it's like a first time that they're doing it, like a first round. But if they seem like they've been doing it a long time and they have no problems, then I order from the Korean sellers and then ship it to the Korean address, and then eventually it gets shipped to me, so I don't get scammed. Wow, pre-orders for clothing items she designed. Tens of thousands of dollars. Holy crap. Let us know. Are you asking me if they got their money back? Like the Singapore scammer? Yes, having a Korean address is very important. Very, very important. It makes a difference. Okay, so they managed to recover most of the money. And they managed to recover most of the money, and a lot of it got returned. I don't know the follow-up for after what happened, but because the protocol for this is that because she's still young, and I think her parents are responsible for her, unfortunately. uh, I can't verify this for sure, but they managed to recover most of the money that she still had, and I believe that the parents were responsible for paying like the fine or whatever. I don't know what happened to the rest of the people. So yeah. Okay. Uh yeah. Um yes, so scammers. Let's talk about a big scammer, a big ass scammer. While searching for Sassing fan information last week, uh I came across this name several times, so many times that it got mentioned. So I was like, okay, scammer is a good topic for today. And the person was called Melon and Sugar. Melon and Sugar. I don't know if you guys have heard of her. And she also runs an account called Dream Dream in Spring. Dream in Spring. Let me verify this. Oh, it disappeared. Oh. Okay, anyway, Melon and Sugar. She is American, and apparently she scams people of their money, and then she uses that money to go like chase after the boys. And if you guys were here in the last live of in the last Army Tea Time, I was talking about people who buy information and then use it to stalk the boys, to be like sussings and stalk the boys. So this Melanin Sugar person is this entire package of fucked up. She, yeah, she's got plenty of Twitter accounts. She's got so many Twitter accounts so that she can carry on scamming. What she does is she scams people of money, like scams. She makes like merch. The merch looks so pretty and whatever, and then she takes people's money and she uses that money to buy information and also stalk the boys. So basically, anyone who got scammed by her, you were unintentionally funding her stalking activities. So it was like disgusting. And like in 2019, uh, apparently she was at the Golden Disc Awards, and then I was like, oh, but I was outside at the Golden Disc Awards, and then so I was like, oh my god, I might have seen her, I think, and that was so scary. And then I saw her at this one of the shows that the boys attended in the U.S. I can't remember the show. I'm so sorry, but it is the show where they were playing hide and seek. Do you guys remember that? What is the show where they were playing hide and seek? Help me out here. What show? Anyway, so she was there. She was in the audience. Another army also in the audience, turned around and saw her and took a picture of her. I think that's the one, James Corden. Um, saw her, took a picture of her, and posted it on Twitter. And they were like, "Oh my god, this person. Her real name is Renee Mines. Renee Mines. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was some show in America where they were playing hide and seek. And so you guys are giving conflicting. Sorry. Okay, so Corden. Everybody says Corden. Okay, Corden. But yes, she was there also, and then she went to the Golden Disc in 2019, and then so she's everywhere, and she was on the same planes as them. She was on the blacklist for Big Hit. There was this whole announcement like in 2017 there was an announcement by Big Hit about how like too many armies are being suspected of being suspects because they just keep showing up on the same flights. And then I saw people screenshotted her tweets and her DMs. Apparently people outed her DMs where she was like, BTS is gonna fly out of what country on which date, and they were like, how do you know this? And she actually responded by saying she paid for the information. So I was like, oh my god, we were just talking about this last week, and I was reading about it yesterday, and I was like, wow, disgusting. Ugh. I can't understand why people do this. absolutely has no conscience at all. So many exposed threads on Twitter. I know, Twitter is like the best. You could get so lost on Twitter. I try not to spend a lot of time on Twitter because I don't want to get sucked into this drama. I want to live peacefully. But, for the sake of tea, I'm finding out so many things. So I think there was another gin account that was also a scammer. Yeah, all these fan merch people. Yeah, it must have been terrifying. Like, remember last week for Army Tea Time, I showed you this video of Tiong talking about how they keep seeing the same person on flights. And on the flights, I don't know how they know like their seats and stuff, but they either try to get like the same row so that they can like turn around and just like secretly film, or they get like rows ahead of the boys so that they can turn around and take pictures because behind you can't get their faces. So that's legit crazy, like insane. That's way beyond stalker paparazzi behavior. So yeah, it's kind of insane. Yeah. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we're still talking about scammers. Scammers, they do have private planes now. They started towards the end of 2019. Whenever they can now, they charter a private plane, and the private plane company is really good. Like they have special mats made for BTS so that when they get off the plane, like when they first step onto the ground, it's on like a BTS mat, and that's pretty cool. So it's a good company, trustworthy. So you can trust that they're not selling the information, and even if they do, like what are the in fact, if I were this plane company, I would scam the scammers. I would scam the stalkers because it would be like, hey, we're the company, BTS are gonna be here, $300, and then it turns out that it's not the right information. So that would teach the stalkers a lesson. We should start our own private plane company just for this purpose. Okay. I guess today's talk is not going to be all that long. I'm gonna be here for about another 15 minutes. Yes. Okay. So for scammers, how can we spot scammers? Ooh, another type of scammer that I wanted to talk about. Like, okay, this was also in the news recently. Scammers targeting armies specifically. Because armies have been known to be a very generous fandom, there are a lot of scammers. There was sorry, I hate flies. There was this guy, he's a 30-year-old man, and he pretended to be an army in need. Like he was like, I'm so sad. I have no money for albums. And he pretended to be a teenage girl in need. And then he went on Twitter. And then I read this in the news article. Where is it? I can't find it. But you can Google this. Oh, here we go. Oh, on there. Oh, where did it go? I have so many tabs open. Sorry. But anyway, I read this story. It's a legit news story. It happened recently, 2020 and 2021. So within the last couple of years, there have been people going online and pretending to be one, sick, or their mom is sick, or their grandma is sick, and scamming armies of their money that way. And two, pretending to be armies, like men, old men, adult men, pretending to be teenage girls who need money for albums or like other merch, and they're so poor and they've never had merch before. This is their first time. Their heart is broken. Blah blah blah. And then they do like a GoFundMe, or they have that some app where you can transfer money. And armies are so generous, right? So they actually do transfer money, and they scam people out of hundreds and hundreds of dollars this way. So yeah, it's very sad. It's very disgusting. So I've seen a lot of scammers on Twitter that about the sick one, and not pinpointing any specific country, but this is based on personal experience. Recently, the scammers that I've seen where they say somebody is sick, blah blah blah. The last three that I saw were all like Filipino, and I'm not trying to say something bad like about the Filipinos. Let me tell you, it's because the Filipinos or Filipinas, I mean, okay, the Philippine people, they're so generous with each other. They're so supportive of each other. So when a person pretending to be a Filipino army says, "I'm sick, my mom is sick, my grandma is sick," something like that, like usually the first people to respond are fellow Filipinas who are like, "Okay, let me help you out. What is your account cash number?" So it's disgusting taking advantage of the kindness of, like, let's say your own people, or taking advantage of the kindness out of like a certain group of people or armies or your fellow men or whatever. It's just insane. It's so I can't believe how people do this. How can you spend money that was taken from someone? It's stealing. It's not your money. Somebody else worked hard to earn that, So you scamming people is not working to earn it. That's not a job. So, yeah. Um I've seen a lot of that. And I've tried to disprove that they are real, because you can, whatever pictures they provide, you can put that on Google image search and do a reverse search. Reverse image search, and and see where else the photo has been posted and when it was posted. So if you can do that, like, you can prove that these photos don't belong to the scammers and that they belong to someone else. I've actually proven there was like now scammers are also on Kakao Talk. I've had scammers text me on Kakao Talk and use horribly broken Korean, and and it was so horrible. And then they say, "Oh, they're Korean, but they live in like Turkey or some, or they're like in the army and they're in Afghanistan." I'm like, what? And then, so one time I did a Google reverse image search and found out that they were using this picture of this like famous like plastic surgeon in California, and he was a famous plastic surgeon, but they were using his picture and they were saying like, "I am a Korean guy." He is Korean. It was like, "I'm a Korean guy in the army, and I've been stationed in Turkey," and his English was so terrible and his Korean was so terrible, so it's obvious he's not from an English speaking country, and it's obvious that he's not Korean. So yeah, I I reverse image search, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Anyway, on Twitter, please don't give anyone money. Even if you think it's legit, I'm sorry, but scammers are very convincing nowadays. And it's great that you want to be generous, that you want to help out someone who could possibly be in need. But like, think about yourself first. You know, did you sacrifice something in order to be donating this to someone? What if it turned out to be a scam? Then you deprived yourself of the thing, and then you feel stupid, and then you feel guilty. So yeah. Yeah, donate to reputable charities. I would say don't donate to any like hey guys, those, hey guys, we're gonna have this project. Okay, let's see. How can we pick and choose? How can we identify the people that are scamming? I would say just like I said, what I do is I make sure if I want to give money, or if I want to buy something, or if I want to donate to a project. I have donated to a project. 100%, trust me. I have donated to the Namjoon Forest project. It's held by Honey Junie. Honey Junie, amazing. We're gonna talk about amazing armies in the next Army Tea Time, because they deserve this, and they've had amazing projects that even the boys themselves have acknowledged. So we're gonna talk about good tea the next time. Cold tea. The tea has been hot so far, talking about all these insanely nasty people. But we should talk about something good next time. And yeah, we can talk about those wonderful armies who organize great projects. I wish that this thing didn't make my face so pasty. How do I stop that? Still pasty. How do I get it to not be pasty? I'll fix it by the next Army Tea Time. Anyway, next Army Tea Time, we're gonna talk about nice tea. Nice tea instead of nasty. Amazing projects and stuff. And you feel proud to be a part of that project. Amazing projects that armies have done that have benefited this planet. So we're going to talk about that next time. But this time, let's talk about how to avoid being scammed. Okay? Again, whether it's donating, whether it's buying merch, whatever it is, don't buy from first-time projects. Look for geo managers that have done many projects before. They may have many ongoing projects, but if they're not fulfilled, then don't. Because ongoing just means they're just constantly, cheating people of money, and they haven't fulfilled any of the projects yet. So, yeah, check out reviews. Always look at people's responses on Twitter. If they say, hey, where's the update on this, that's not a good projects manager. That's not a good group order, a geo manager. Because a geo manager that is sincere is always going to keep updating you on where your stuff is. It's like, oh, guys, I don't know where the stuff is, but let me contact the seller and then I'll get back to you. I received this amount and it's going to go to shipping, stuff like that. They're constantly in contact with you, just like any regular good business would do, right? If you're ordering something, then you expect to know when your order is being shipped out, if your order is on the way to you, when you're going to receive your order and stuff like that. Just you can't have different standards just because you're dealing with someone that you think is like you, like an ordinary person that's not a business person, or a fan just like you. No excuses. If a person wants to take on a project that deals with money, they have to go by all the rules that deal with money, like a legit business. So they have to conduct themselves that way, or else don't trust them. So yeah, there are proper apps as well, Callie. You're right. Make sure you're paying via means which protect you. Like PayPal has a protection clause. Like if you're paying through a certain mode on PayPal, if you don't receive your goods or items, that money will be can be transferred back to you, refunded back to you. So there's protection for you. If you have transferred via your bank has a record of it. There's potentially some protection for you there. Especially if you make a police report, then it's very possible the bank can help you out, but no guarantees. PayPal also largely can help you out, but no guarantees. But if you pay, so scammers usually do ask for Venmo or Cash App, because these are only one-way transactions. One-way transactions meaning if anything happens, you can't get that money back, because that, like, it shows that you willingly gave that money. So yeah, there's no protection for you. So if they are asking via shady source, then it's a big risk. So it's up to you if you want to risk that amount of money. Even if you do want to risk that amount of money because you think this thing I can't live without it, so I'm gonna get it no matter what, then make sure you're risking an amount of money you're not gonna regret if you lose it. Like $10. I really want this thing, but the seller looks shady. $10. If I lose it, I'm not gonna be that upset. But $50? Yes. Actually, 20, anything above 10, I would be very upset. Very, very upset. Because because I work hard for my money, and yeah. In fact, yesterday I got a text saying my items were delivered, but they were not. So I have texted. I mean, this is a legit, like, through an app where there's a market and a seller. So I've applied for a refund. Pretty sure I'm gonna get it. But yeah, so, and I was upset about that, and it was only $8.88. Correct. So I was upset about $8.88, and I better fucking get that money back, because the fact that I have to do things like apply for a refund and all that is extra work that I didn't want to do in the first place. So anyway, be very, very careful when you purchase stuff online. Uh, I don't want to seem racist. I don't think it is. Based on very personal experience, I would say Korean sellers are very legit. I'm such a suspicious person, but so even if it's Korean sellers, I get very shady. Like I don't get shady. I get very suspicious of this person. Like, oh, I already paid my money. Am I gonna get the stuff? And not only does the stuff always come, I've never been scammed. Even if it's like a person that was selling just something that I wanted, like secondhand or something, or yeah, some item that was brand new and they just didn't have it anymore, or they're not using it anymore. Like, for example, this book. So this book, this is just a book. A Korean army writes fucking whole ass novels, and then she sells them. Oh my god, she's so fucking rich. Each book is like $30 or $35, and yeah, so she makes a limited amount of books, and her books always sell out. So I have a book, but then one day I was doing a puzzle, and somehow the puzzle glue tipped over and it covered a whole section of my book, and I could no longer like turn the pages, and I was fucking upset because the person who writes these books like doesn't sell this anymore. And I was like, where the fuck am I gonna get a replacement? And then so I found this person, and she said she bought the book, and then like she didn't really read it because it was too long. It was too long for her because it's a thick ass book, and it's very small words. So she thought it was too long, and she lost interest, and she didn't want to read it anymore, so she was gonna sell it. And I was like, okay. And then she sent me like picture. I said, could you send me pictures of the condition of the book? And she was like, she sent me like top, bottom, side, other side, front, back, everything. And then she was like, there's a tiny little nick on one side of the book. I can't even see it, but she said there's a tiny little like nick, like if you did your fingernail. I was like, I don't care. I just need the book because I hadn't finished it yet. So yeah, they're so when they send things, all these Korean sellers, please learn Korean, you guys. I would be willing to teach you Korean for a very low fee. Uh, these Korean sellers, not only do they send you things, they always send you the thing with something else. So every time I pay like such a small, what I think is a very small, underpriced or similarly priced amount for an object that I want from a Korean seller. They send it to you and they wrap it so beautifully, and then they send you a whole bunch of like BTS stickers and photo cards and other things that come with it. And I'm like, wow. Wow. And this is why I always buy from like Korean sellers. Not that I buy things very often. I don't buy a lot of merch. Because what a waste of money. It's very expensive flying around to other countries and attending BTS concerts. So it's either buy merch or have money for travel. It's either you have to pick and choose. But yeah. I was thinking that if you guys wanted to start learning Korean, I would be a very good teacher. You guys will learn Korean really fast from me. We could do like a group Zoom and I don't know, like $15 per lesson or something. I think it's a good deal. I'm a fucking good teacher. I don't really swear during lessons, don't worry. But yes. So it's very advantageous to be able to read all the Korean and buy from a Korean seller. Okay. So it is a good deal. It is a very good deal. Do you know how much I charge to teach people Korean here? It's like 35 to 45 per hour. So $15 per lesson online in a Zoom is a fucking good deal for you guys. So that I can do it like in my spare time. So anyway, yeah. What was I gonna say? Yes. Okay, so any last scammer stories? There are actually plenty of others like scammers we could talk about, but it's all similar stories. Um, ooh, a cute thing. A cute thing that I have to point out is that not to the scammers. There's nothing cute about the scammers, but remember we were talking about the local police, like the local Singapore police, and how they dealt with the army scammer. That's the scammer that scammed a lot of armies. Okay, in 2018, um, the police posted a message to army specifically. This fandom, the police addressed this fandom at the end of 2018. Like, okay, look. Singapore Police Force reminds BTS Army to beware of scammers. Not today. And then they post a picture of like a screenshot from Not Today, and then the notice from the Singapore Police Force, which they did in purple, like in Love Yourself colors. Don't you think that is the fucking cutest? And I read the article. If you're a K-pop fan, or know someone who's a K-pop fan, or have spent any time within hearing distance to a K-pop fan, you you'll probably know that BTS is coming to Singapore because BTS came to Singapore in 2019 January. So they posted this. They wanted armies to not be scammed by third-party ticket sellers. So I think this is seriously absolutely the cutest thing. Absolutely the cutest. Like seriously. I think it's great that the Singapore police force like really just gets into the whole they just get on board with the people, the local fans and stuff. That's a great way to get through to armies, you know? Like speaking our language, having a screenshot of the music video, you know, posting a notice that's like purple. So I think it's great. It's great to be here in Singapore as a K-pop fan. You get a lot of respect. You don't get a lot of ridicule. I wish I didn't have to keep doing this for like to not be blurry. How? There we go. Okay. Okay, so what did you think about that? I think that's like seriously the cutest. Very, very cute. Okay, you guys, it's almost an hour already. And the tea wasn't as hot as last week, but yeah, next week it's gonna be a much cuter conversation. We'll talk about happy things, happy projects. I have learned about so many amazing army projects, and not just tributes to BTS, but projects in the name of BTS done by armies that helped out entire communities and you know also improve contributing towards things like reducing global warming and things like that. So I can't wait to talk about that next week. I hope that you guys will be there too. How come I don't see comments on the cute police thing? Why aren't you writing that? I think the police thing was so cute. I'm sad. That was the cutest part of this. Yeah, the police force actually does a lot of things like this. Whenever there's a big event, they will try to get on the level of the audience that they're talking to so that they can get across to them. I think that's fantastic, and I'm actually touched that they would think about that. It's great. Okay, you guys, any last comments before I shut it off and we prepare for a live next week? Who's still here anyway? I can't see the list of people. Have a good night. It is 12:30 in the afternoon. You have a good night. I will have a good day. I live in the future. I live in the future, the next day from you. Even though all my lights are on. Okay. Yeah, I figure. Okay, you guys. Have a good night or have a good day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.